how's it going? So I saw that you guys really liked my last video, so I figured I'd make a second video going into detail about how it was made. I have a lot to share about the history and overall the making of my bosses, so I think that this video is going to be pretty fun. Let's hop right into it. So first up, we got Classic Pursuit, my very first boss. So this thing was actually supposed to be a lot different when I first started making it. First of all, the song was originally supposed to be unlocked from just Shapes and Beats. The funny thing is, I couldn't figure out how to download it, which is why I actually scrapped it and used Classic Pursuit instead. Originally, I only knew how to get songs from Newgrounds, and Classic Pursuit was on Newgrounds, but Unlocked wasn't, so that's why I chose that song. The design was originally a lot different as well. It used to look like this, but I decided that the tentacles would be too hard to animate, so I just kind of removed them. And then I just asked a bunch of people, like, what does this look like? And no one could really tell that it was an eyeball, so that's why I just decided to make it basic like this. For my animation skills at the time, I actually thought I did a pretty good job making this, as if I didn't forget the warnings. I'm still mad about that. So overall, not bad. Next up, we got Cascade, probably my most liked boss. Originally, I was gonna have the song be Subwoofer Substep, but I looked it up and found out that someone already made it. I wanted to be original at the time, so I decided to switch it to Cascade, and then later figured out that Coffee Crumble is already making Cascade, so I was kind of just too invested in it, so I just decided to finish it, and the funny thing is, it actually got released the same day as Coffee Crumbles. Like I said, the song was originally gonna be Subwoofer Substep, so as you may guess, the original design was a bit more aggressive. The first part of Subwoofer Substep is actually really calm, so that's mostly the reason why Cascade looks really calm in the final. Although there are things that I could have changed, but I thought it was a step up from Classic Pursuit, so I'm kind of happy with it. Now we got this level. This was originally supposed to be a copyrighted song, so I had to change it, and guess what I changed it to? Another copyright song. I know I'm a genius, aren't I? Long story short, the video got automatically copyright claimed when I published it, so I had to find a non-copyright version of the song. I deleted the original video and re-uploaded it with the new song. Unfortunately, the video was pretty big for me at the time, so it kind of hurt to delete, but that's what I get for being an idiot. For the time, it wasn't a very bad animation, but I don't really think about it that much. I kind of just overlook it, so it's fine, I guess. This right here is my original idea for a collab I was in. You may recognize what I'm talking about, and that's Coffee Crumble's Corrupted collab animation. I was really stoked to be working on a collaboration with Coffee Crumble and many others, and this is what I originally started making for my part. Obviously I didn't like it, and I had a better idea of what I could change my part into, which is what you're about to see. Now this is more like it, just putting my full effort into a 10-second clip. I thought that the design and animation was overall a lot more original and just overall better. I chose the final clip because I wanted to be the one to end it off. I thought that'd just be a really cool little touch. I think that the fact that it's a computer, the fact that it gets uncorrupted, and then the thing that just says thanks for watching popping up on it, I think that it overall just makes for a really good ending. There were definitely some things I wish I fixed, but this was a pretty big jump from my last animations. I had a lot of fun working in the collab, and it brings back a lot of good memories. I'd definitely do it again. Who knows, maybe I'll do a collab in the future. Last tile. This one doesn't bring back as good of memories. Every animation you've seen so far has just been made from a really bad editor app. It was always really difficult to animate on it, and to be honest, it wasn't really built for animating, so it was kind of a struggle, and obviously none of them ever turned out that good. The issue with Last Tile was that it was pretty complicated, and I was pushing my limits as well as the editor's limits. Completing this would be like completing my part in Corrupted like 10 times over, an already complicated animation. So I was kind of just trying to go full out for this, but as you can tell, it was kind of just doomed to fail. The original concept and inspiration for Last Tile was this by my friend. He kept throwing ideas at me, and eventually I found one that I liked, so I was like, you know what, let's do it. So when the Just Shapes and Beats Lost Chapter came out, I started working on my Last Tile animation inspired by that concept. I enjoyed the song and everything about it, but the project was overall just a sunk cost fallacy. Now this is where stuff starts getting good in my opinion. I switched to Project Arrhythmia, so I had the opportunity to just make a lot better animations. I had this idea in my head for a long time. In fact, when I was midway through making Last Tile, I was considering actually starting it on my old editor app. Instead, I decided to buckle down and not finish Last Tile. When I switched to Project Arrhythmia, I remembered the concept and wanted to start it because the idea was somewhat basic and I think it would just be a perfect level to start with. I think this is my only level ever where the idea never really changed, but here's the original concept art. I never finished the concept art because as you can tell it's missing legs. So in Project Arrhythmia when I got to that part, I tried everything but couldn't really figure out anything that looked good, so I decided to forget the legs. I was also gonna have the tail swipe side to side in the animation in like the first phase, but I couldn't really figure out how to do that, so I kinda just left it alone. You gotta remember, this is my first time trying a brand new editor. Obviously I made this as a joke, and when I originally came up with it, the meme was somewhat relevant, although it's kinda dead now. I thought it was pretty funny, but maybe I just have a bad sense of humor. But for my first Project Arrhythmia level, I think it actually turned out pretty good. And now we got Bike, my favorite animation. Honestly, I was never truly proud of any of my animations before I made this. Project Arrhythmia helped out a lot to create a really cool level that I was genuinely proud of and that was pretty difficult. It was originally going to be an unreleased song, so I had to end up changing it, and I'm kinda glad I did because I ended up finding this banger. The song was also used in a Geometry Dash level called I Spy With My Little Eye. I looked at the level and thought it was awesome, so I decided to take some inspiration from it. Out of all my bosses, I think this is the most successful one, and I'm kinda glad it is because this is the one that deserves it the most. This was inspired by a level that my friend made on Project Arrhythmia. I liked the concept of a short, difficult challenge with a cool song, and originally Bike wasn't supposed to have checkpoints, but I realized that the level would just be absolutely not fun at all, so I had to add some checkpoints here and there. Not only the checkpoints thing, but I was also originally going to add a lot more bullets, but my computer started to crash, so this level was originally supposed to be a lot harder than it is today. Like I said, this is my favorite animation by far. However, I have a new one coming up which I like a lot more actually. Lastly, we just got the cutscene. This was mostly made in Project Arrhythmia, and I decided to make the cutscene as kind of just a way to fill the gaps. I thought that it would be a little too uninteresting to just jump from boss to boss without something in between, so I think the cutscene added a lot to the video overall. By the way, we're really close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed already and you enjoy this, then feel free to just take 2 seconds and hit that button. I'd really appreciate it. Either way, thanks for watching, have a good day.